Table. Welcome to Truth Forum, a forum to discuss truth in a friendly surrounding like we do at home at the kitchen table. I do have the rights to perform the songs, the notes, and the lyrics licensed by BMI. I'm your host, Dr. Smith. I will continue to lead compelling, relatable, and honest conversations. My guests will range from community leaders, professionals, and real people whose stories will touch and inspire you. Discussion will center around the struggles and the amazing triumphs and even the compelling topics in the news, pop culture that capture our city's, nation's attention. If you'd like to be a guest at the kitchen table, you may call us at 269-282-1490 or email us at kingdombuildersworldwide2@gmail.com. Our vision is to catalyze, energize, and bring people together. We want to continue to share some things that are extremely important, extremely essential. See, if you're going to be successful, a lot of this has to do with business and business opportunities. And if we are wise, we know we go nowhere ignorance of ourselves. See, there'll be no network unless we know who we are, so that we are in the network, and without the network, we will not have the power. So reawakening African people, and I intend to take our place in the rightful spot where we belong. Like they did in Africa, they would sit down and share stories. And today, that's what we're going to do. We are so glad to have a special guest from the great city of Kalamazoo, all the way about 18 miles from Battle Creek. But before I introduce my wonderful guest, I'm grateful for my producer, Tiffany Smith, Ronnie Hoyt, Carl English, Mike Campbell, my son, Facebook Live, T2, Chanel McClinney, and Shania Smith on the camera, and my main man, co-host, Doug Jones. One more let's introduce and celebrate all the way from Kalamazoo. We got Pastor Roz and Evangelist Willhite. Let's give God a praise for them. Willhite. All right, Willhite.
Yes.
The evangelist got me straight already. Hey, so first of all, we are so happy to have you all here. And before we even get started on the show, before I even talk about Respect Academy and all those things, tell me something very briefly about you, Pastor Roz, and then Evangelist Willhite. There you go.
Amen. Well, I'm glad to be here, first of all. Very kind people, a very welcoming environment, very professional environment. It's good to see our people do things on a high scale, so this is definitely done in excellence. So we thank God for that. I thank God for the opportunity to be here, to be invited here by a beautiful young lady who asked me to be here today. And what do you want to know about me?
We'll get to your mom.
Well, this is my mom.
This is your
My
mom.
mom. Yep.
Mother, good to see you. Mother, you look like you're just powerful with the anointing, and we're going to just keep it together because you sing like you. So we heard you singing some songs in the background before we got started.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Sound good.
Well,
but you're the mom of this beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
Well, I'm an evangelist,
Okay.
and I'm co-founder of Land Healers Ministry, she and I together.
Okay.
And I just enjoy the Lord. I've been saved most of my life, over 40 some years.
All right.
And I love it. And I love God, and I love God's people.
Absolutely.
Amen. And I want the best. I know we are King's kids, and we're supposed to act like it.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely.
And that's me.
Well, we're going to have some great conversations. My main man, my co-host, Deacon, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Deacon, Bishop. How are you?
We had some technical difficulties, so we're trying to bounce back. But had a good day at service today.
Yes.
And,
Mr. and Mrs. Letts.
Yeah. And we are.
I like that sermon.
Yeah. That was the name of the sermon. Because, Mr. Well, just go ahead and break it down. What does that mean?
The people that get influenced by others to do something that they shouldn't be doing. Instead of staying on course, it's like, let's do this or let's do that.
Oh, I like that.
But it was really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, wow.
So you brought some guests here, and so what we'd like for you to do is, I haven't had a chance to know you personally, read a little bit about what you do, but tell us about Respect Academy and about what you do. This is your show. This is an opportunity for you to give a shout out to the Kalamazoo people, whatever your calling is, whatever work you do. And then once I hear what you do, I'm for sure there's going to be opportunity for us to connect, because that's what the body, as you mentioned, we're King's children, and that's what the body of Christ is all about.
Amen.
So Evangelist, tell us about, Pastor, tell us about the Respect Academy, or where you work at. I'm told you in a public school. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I got that wrong. Tell me what you do. What do you do? First of all, let's talk about what you do personally.
I'm in full-time ministry.
Full-time ministry, gotcha.
And with full-time ministry carries you in all areas. Respect Academy particularly was founded by my mom and with her grandsons and their friends.
Okay.
So it started off with boys.
13.
And so you said 13 of them? I thought it was 7. Okay, 13 of them. Why don't you tell it then? Go ahead. Tell them why, the reason.
Well, we started Respect Academy out with, we've seen this condition that our children were in our neighborhoods. And so I started off with I had 12 grandsons, and then they brought their friends. And so we started off with 13 boys. And it went from there. We just started doing all kinds of things, drill teams. Had to keep the kids busy because we're firm believers. If we don't give our children something to do, the devil will.
Absolutely.
So what we decided to do is just sit down and start strategizing and meeting and coming together and getting some programs together. And we did. We had some successful programs. The drill team was second to none. Every event that we encountered, we came in first place, and in the city and far and near. And so that's how the Respect Academy got started. And so it's been going on and on. The initial ones, they've gotten grown, they're having children, they're going to college, they're doing their own thing. So it's like we're starting all over again with the youth. And that's the niche of our ministry is the youth. Because we know if we get the youth, we bring the parents on in too. That's the way God has started us.
So who came up with the RESPECT?
Aretha Franklin.
Who came up with that name? Who came up with that name? And connect that name. Aretha Franklin, the female singer, but you mentioned it's from young men. Where did that come from? Why the word respect?
Well, we all know how the school system is, how the kids,
You got to tell us, Evangelist, you got to tell us how the school system is. Because I don't know about the school system in Kalamazoo.
Oh, wow,
So
wow,
you got to tell us what you're talking about.
Well, the kids were they were irate. They was just out of control. They They had no respect. We seen that they were just off the chain, so they say. And so that's where I got it from. I got Respect Academy from the action of the youth in school. They were very disrespectful, and so we just come up with Respect Academy.
I like that.
And my daughter, Pastor Roz, that was one of her songs that she used to sing. She sounded a lot like Aretha Franklin when she was saying RESPCT.
Yeah.
And
Pastor, can you let me hear that note from me?
RESPECT, find out what it means to me.
That was pretty good.
Aretha's in the house. She passed away, bless her Lord.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good. So are you one of the you're the daughter? Was one of your sons a part of the grandkids?
Mine?
Yes.
Oh, I don't have any children. Biologically, I have a lot of children.
Okay, so it was
God-given.
her other siblings.
yes.
Yes.
Grandchildren.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes,
I
yes,
got
yes,
you.
yes,
yes.
Those are your nephews or your nieces, or
Nieces,
whatever.
nephews,
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
So what role did you fit in this?
We teach the kids a positive message,
Okay.
and we reinforce the message through the arts, because a lot of children, as you know, black children are into rhythm, and they learn really quickly by music.
Yeah.
So as we were first of all, what made her start the Respect Academy, to give it that name, is we were out on the street evangelizing before I became a pastor.
Okay.
And sometimes we were out on the streets 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And
Really?
we were east side of Kalamazoo. We were in the parks because drug addicts and drug dealers, negative activity was coming into the community. So I worked closely with the East Side Neighborhood Association, and then I became a board director. And so we got out in the community and brought people together to go against the crime and all the stuff that was going on. Because our kids couldn't go to the park without being approached in an inappropriate way. We found out that a lot of kids were out at that time of night. And so that's one of the reasons why we geared our ministry more toward children. At that time, we were having Bible study. We started off with Bible study in the home and prayer and stuff like that. But then they started letting us use, as it was growing, the Neighborhood Association Center, then the East Side Neighborhood, another center over there, then the schools, and this school of social work from Western Michigan University heard about what we were doing, literally. And the police officers in the community got involved, and they were like, we'll cover you while you're out on the streets late at night, because they were here singing and praying, talking to people and everything. So that's one of the reasons why she started this respect, because there was no respect. You know, children were challenging you as though they didn't know about respect. You know, they didn't respect elders. They didn't know about morals and things of that nature. So when we first started out, we read it in a boot camp style, 0 tolerance for disrespect. And she was the one that Jack kind of like grabbed him in the collar and said, look, you going to...
So when you got these kids together, was it a challenge trying to find out what really intrigued these kids or what drew them in?
Most definitely.
Did the 13 kids help you come up with the programs?
Oh,
or was
yeah,
it something that
yeah.
you already thought about and just had to help them, they helped you implement it?
We agree with the slogan, love conquers all. With love and kindness have I drawn thee.
Did the 13
we
help?
love them, pardon me?
Did the 13 help start?
Yeah. So anyway, we drew them with love. Well, we did different things. We took them different places, and we fed them, you know, and we just loved on them. We loved on them, and before you know it, right now, if we go into the community right now, you would think that we were celebrities, because we loved the kids and we did things that they never done before. You know, one time we brought them here to what's the name of the park? Music park here?
Of the Arboretum?
Full blast.
Full blast. Well, we were on Sprinkle Road in our van. We had a big 2,000 van, and 15 passenger, and we had some of the neighborhood kids in the car, and they say, "Oh, are we out of town?" Some of them had never left their community
From
area.
Kalamazoo.
We were still
never,
in Kalamazoo
never.
when they said
And
that.
it was just like, say, "Oh, we're out of town. Where we go?" I said, "No, honey, we're still in Kalamazoo. We're on our way." So we just did a lot of good things for them. We taught them. We took them to California. We took them to Chicago. We took them to
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
They've
We just
nice places.
did what we could. And we got some help from different places: Kalamazoo Foundation, Gilmore Foundation, United Way, and what have you. And hey, it was just, that's how we drove it. You know, there was people to help us. They say, oh yes, I wanted to say this too. When Rosalind was saying that when we was working over in the East Side Neighborhood Association, there was a police officer that seen what we were doing, and he says, hey, we can do the cadence. I'll give you the cadence. So he taught us the cadence, and the kids, we dressed in military style. It was another pastor on the east side.
Uniforms.
On the east side, they went out and bought uniforms. I mean, boots. I mean, there was no
Pants. They were
short hair.
uniform head to toe.
Everything. They were dressed head to foot. It was marching and doing their thing, and people seen it, and people started donating and asking, what can we do for you? And so the more we did, the more kids come. It got to the point to where we couldn't handle them all by ourselves, you know. And
Wow.
yeah.
I looked on the Facebook page and I saw you standing in front of a building. Is that a part of a school building that you guys affiliated with, or that was just a picture?
Yeah, that was a picture of one of the buildings that we had. We're not there anymore.
Okay,
so,
I
yeah,
got
no
you.
longer there. Yeah, that was
Is
our building.
Respect Academy a 501c3 organization?
Yes, it is.
Yes, we're
Okay.
nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that is
Over 20 years. Yeah.
Because I think even though we're talking only 18 miles apart, a lot of companies are merging without losing their identity, but they're working together because you can do so much with different resources.
That's true.
And no need to always reinvent the wheel, but that's something
That's true.
that's
That's
not only needed in Battle Creek, I mean in Kalamazoo, but also in Battle Creek. But I like to say this to you, Mother. When I said mother, that's an endearment word,
Yes, it
not
is.
to make you feel older.
I get that everywhere I go.
But I say that. But I said in my message today that there was a man in the Bible that lived to be 960 years, and the Bible just says he died, but he finished his course. And to see you involved like this, still jacking up people, that's amazing.
They won't let me jack up.
Okay. And so I'm not going to ask you, where you at age-wise, but I think
I love my age. I'm 75.
See that, y'all?
I'll be 76 in November.
76
I love my age.
In the kingdom. And that's the whole point I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
She's going to, as Jesus Christ said, when it was all done, he said, I finished.
Yes.
And you're doing that. And to partnership, you and daughter, that's a wonderful thing. So, Pastor, where do you see this ministry going, or where would you like this ministry to go?
Well, it has brought us here today.
Absolutely.
We were just standing in line shopping, and then we were proposed an opportunity to come and be here. So we believe in our ministry. We talk about it everywhere we go. And like the gentleman, he asked a question, what did the children, did they contribute to the program and ideas? Yes, they did. A lot of things that we do, the children contribute in that too, because they're gifted. And I'm one of the ones that bring out the talents, the singing abilities, because we teach the kids a positive message, as I told you before, and we reinforce the message that we teach through the arts. And the arts that we perform in are singing. We have a choir. We have a drill team. We have drama, where we teach the life skills, then we have them act out what they've learned. And then we have dance. And our dancers are excellent. We have praise dancers, and we've had several groups, because they grow up and they grow out. Even those little young ladies, they were kids when they were part of our group. And we have men, that were part of our group that went on and they've gone.
And I was going to ask you that question: if you have girls in your group also?
Yes, we have girls, and yes.
Let me tell you, and see, I'm very spontaneous, and my wife and I was talking about this. So I'm going to propose something at you. I don't know the name of the show. Deacon, you can help me, or the audience. So what is the name of the show where the three people sets with Simon and they come up and perform?
American Idol?
Not that one. That's the old school one. It's the new one.
American Got Talent?
Remember the voice. The voice. So envision this. Envision this. Let's say there's a auditorium that's available. Okay? And we get different people, and we get our own judges, and let them do that and make an annual event.
That would be wonderful. That would be cool.
We were even thinking about trying to do the Kurt Franklin thing here.
Sunday best.
Yeah, but I don't have your skills.
Kurt Franklin has been here before. We were there with.
But we have the facility. We have an auditorium.
Wow.
We have a school building.
Wow.
Okay, you got the skills. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're putting something together right now, and I'm thinking about having all these different choirs, and then we could pick random judges. We can raise some funds so they can get a gift or award. Bring your talent, because you're right. Our children need something to do, and it's also a form of entertainment.
Yes.
Yes.
In a positive way. Yeah.
So the show is not about what we have and what we do, but it's about connecting resources.
That's beautiful.
So we have we purchased a middle school right here in the city.
Wow. I wonder if that.
And it has an auditorium that seats 800 people.
Wow.
And you're 18 minutes away.
Wow.
And you can come here and do your plays, your skits, whatever.
Wow.
You follow me?
Yeah.
That's why we came together.
Yeah.
You got to see. I know my lane. That's not my lane.
Yeah.
And I like to be a judge, so I can hit that button.
Yeah.
No, they don't hit the button no more, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they still hit the button.
The voice, yeah. I like to. I want to be Simon.
Yeah.
I wanna be the
You
tough
seem
guy.
like you could be Simon.
I'll be the tough guy. Go back and pray.
You missed that.
You missed that, Carly. Go back and pray. But that's something, because just to hear, we're not, we go up to Kalamazoo all the time, and it's just time for us to start connecting. And with y'all, as the young folks say, your vibe, I say my spirit.
Yeah.
I like y'all spirit.
Well, we
But
like
that
that.
generation say vibe,
V-I-B-E.
Is the vibe? Yeah, they say vibe, but I don't always know what that vibe is. But I like this spirit that I feel between you two. So Respect Academy. What else do you do?
Well, we've done several performances. The kids are in the parade. We won last year. We won 2 plaques that made me cry because they were watching us and we didn't know it. And this parade, it consists of most of the people that are involved in South Haven are of Caucasian descent. You know, so for blacks to get in the parade, it was a big thing. And so our kids were in the parade, but they were watching how well-mannered they were. And they were wearing, always uniform nicely when we go places. And we won one plaque that said overall award and entrance, and then best children's award. And and I just broke down to cry because I'm like, I didn't know you were watching us like that. And so our kids are in a lot of the parades, Memorial Day parades. It could be in any cities because we've been in Covert Community Schools. We've been in South Haven, Bangor, Benton Harbor. We've been, a lot of places. So, and they always called us. The school called us. We didn't call them. They called us, and they had a place for us because of the school's social work. They asked us, how are you so successful in what you do? And so I said, I know I'm going to say something that you might not want to hear. And this is one of the reasons, too, why it's so hard. When you mentioned a little bit of it, about it's time to network and collaborate, and where we don't have to lose our identity. A lot of people propose to us coming together, but we would lose our identity. And I'm like, I'm not compromising my identity. I'm not hiding God. I'm not going to hide God.
Break down. Talk more about compromising your identity for the audience. I have the smartest audience in the world, but I still want you to explain that. What do you mean when you say we're not willing to compromise our identity? What do you mean by that?
Okay, because we're a nonprofit 501c3. Okay. And so that means we are state, certified, where we can go in and be tax exempt and receive funds on behalf of our group and legitimately. And but then we have a non-ecclesiastical and a ecclesiastical component to our ministry. So we have a church and we have a non-church. Respect Academy, as we go into schools, they talk about separating church and state. I never figured out how they can do that, because how are you going to separate God who created the state? But anyway, they say separate church and state. So they say don't bring church into the schools, but we come in to evangelize the schools, getting the kids to come on board. And, like inviting them to our services. It's like today we had service before we came. And some of the kids from the schools were at that service. And so, and then some people will say, no, okay, so what do you do when they find out that we are a ministry? Then they'll say, well, no, because you have to learn how to separate that. Well, we know how to do that, but according to the state, but we're not going to hide God. We are religious. We are Christians. We don't hide that. And some people will hide that just to get money or just to maintain their status, recognition. But we don't do that.
Evangelist, prior to you, and I know you've been in ministry for years, but what were you doing before God called you?
Oh, you don't want to know?
Yes, I do. That's why I asked.
Before I called God, before I got saved, or before the ministry.
Before God called you. Before God called you and you
into the ministry,
into the ministry,
into salvation.
Before you got saved,
I wasn't fit to live, nor was I fit to. I wasn't fit to live. I wasn't fit to live, nor was I fit to die.
I was a gangster. She was a thug.
I was not fit to live, and I was not fit to die. I was cutting up like a fat rat.
Like a fat rat? What you say? See, she got old school. Y'all know about no fat rat. Y'all fellas don't know nothing about fat rat. She said she cut up like a fat rat.
See, I know I'm saying because I know where God saved me from.
Fat rat, y'all. You don't know about that. Y'all supposed to quit laughing and you don't know what you're talking about. So, and then was it like an experience that saw where you just were on your way and then God just called you, or
what happened is,
things happen?
Like I said, I was cutting up like a fat rat. I was doing drugs, I was drinking, I was partying,
selling
I was
drugs.
doing what I wanted to do.
Selling them too.
So you was the general runner. Your daughter already telling on you.
Yeah, you welcome back.
You was a baller?
Oh,
you was a shot caller?
One of the best. Female, one of the best females.
See? Yeah. You tell me, God.
And I'm not bragging and boasting on myself, but my soul is making a boast in the Lord. I know where God has brought me from.
Yeah. So one day, that's good. Don't lose your hold on. Keep talking about it. That's good, because there's some young women right now that need to hear your story, because they're trying to be thugs right now.
Well, I didn't consider myself no thug. I consider myself as a working lady. No prostitution, none of that. None of that.
Right.
None of that.
Thank you, Jesus.
But I did, yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
But I did. I was a business lady. I did what I had to do.
Right, Kalamazoo?
My mind, no.
No,
Okay, I didn't think
South
South
Haven. South Haven.
Yeah, I know about South Haven.
Yeah. And Benton Harbor, South Haven and Benton Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said I had the best. The best stuff.
So.
Acapulco, go.
I got you.
Referee don't
When
know
you
about that.
mentioned Ben Harbor, and y'all may not be that much a part of his job, man, what's your thought about that whole school situation?
I think it's ridiculous. I think it's
Sad.
pitiful.
Yeah.
We've been to some of the
Yeah,
forums that they had. We were there when the governor was there. I really, really, really hope that and pray that God would send someone there with a voice that can get things in order like it's supposed to. Well, our kids do not need to be bussed out. That's what's wrong now. They want us to be so like them. You know.
Let's educate the audience.
Okay.
Tell them what's going on. For those who don't know, what they're considering to do at this school is similar to what they did in Albion.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mother. Go and break that down.
They want to bust the children out, want to close the school down and bust the children out to suburban areas and where there's basically Caucasians. And I am a living witness. I've experienced it myself. They do not know how to deal with our children. And I've told principals and superintendents and all that they don't know how to deal with our children. But they want to send us out. You understand? And it's not the thing to do. It's not the thing to do. We want to keep our race intact. Yeah. I have a granddaughter. She went to an all white school, predominantly white school in Portage Northern in Portage, Michigan. And she was an honor roll student, okay? And she got a 4-year scholarship to all black college. Well, when she went to the college, she got
She's scared.
struck. You know, she was, what do you call
Lost
it?
her identity.
Huh?
She was losing her identity.
Yeah. She had lost her identity. That was she got culture struck, you know, and she didn't know how to act because she didn't know her people, you know. And this is what will happen if they close Benton Harbor School down and send our kids out in the suburban areas where all the Caucasians and stuff. I don't have anything against. I'm not prejudiced, but I'm a realist. Okay. If we send our kids out there, they will lose their identity, and slavery will be even more predominant now than it is then.
Is it the enrollment? Is it the deficit that the school has, or is it the enrollment is down and they can't get enough money for the school?
I don't think the enrollment down. The deficit is definitely down. Is it down?
Don't go to school,
Okay.
So how do we, now part of me giving the interview, I have to be on the other side. So how do you answer the question when someone say, but we're going to take your child where there's air conditioning, there's better textbooks, better facility versus where you at now? How do you answer that? Because a lot of black parents is falling for that. How would you answer that with that question? Because the same thing happened in Albion and it happens all over. You know, even right here in Battle Creek, you know, where a lot of people are moving their children to other areas for many reasons. But how would you say, well, ma'am, we understand, but that school is filthy and it doesn't have books and the teachers aren't happy? It's almost like Mr. What's his name? Coach Carter. Not Coach Carter. What's his name?
It was Lean on Me, the movie.
Yeah, not Coach Carter.
Yeah, I know
What's
you
his
don't
name?
know.
You know what I'm
Think of
talking
his name.
about?
Yes, I do.
East Side High.
Yeah.
How would you
I love that
answer
movie.
that
I love
question,
that
Mother,
movie.
if the school is, because I've seen the school. The school is kind of getting a little older. How would you answer that?
Well, the only way I could answer it, you know, we need to be around our own. We need, you know, we need to educate our own children. Like again, because
the community has to come together and like this. The devil served Eve an apple and made her think that apple that she would eat would be better than what God told you, eternal life. Okay? And she fell for it, only to find out that she got kicked out of the garden. Okay, in the same way it is with people. You know, if we're not wise concerning the devil devices, his cunning and diabolical schemes, we will settle for less than the best. So it might look good over there, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good for you. So we have to make sure that we know who we are and whose we are and the potential that we have. The community, just like they called us, they actually called us there to help out and to be voices within that community because they know the work we do. And I said, I will come if you come. I will go if you go. What do I look like coming into your community, bringing a change, and you're not there? So the people have to come. When you get the people together, there's power in oneness. There's power in unity. And even though they might have the worst bathrooms, which they did, we saw the lockers, we toured the school, the facility. It might look impossible. What looks impossible to man is possible with God. All you got to do is have 2 or 3. He said, gather together in my name, and I'll do great works in the midst. And that's all we need is faith people who really believe God, who can bring a people together, and you can see great exploits. If you don't convince the people to that extent, it won't happen. You know, so you got to believe in what you have and build on that. What does it look like to bust your kids out from where you live into another community to build that community? Right. For them to get the money. The same money that they're getting can come back into our schools. Give us the money to renovate.
You're talking to the choir, and that's been one of my concerns. And if we got somebody that's going to respond, I need them to think about it. Again, like you said, Evangelist, it has nothing to do with we're against anybody, but the reality is, until we come together, that's going to keep happening. And what is taking place right now is you have a lot of people. I had a guest on the show last week, wonderful young lady, she's 25 years old. And so I'm thinking my son is in that same age bracket. That generation first president was a black man. So they sometimes don't see what we see.
What we've seen.
Because in my lifetime, I had a little faith, but my mom's lifetime, they never even thought a black president would ever happen. And then her parents definitely didn't. So we can understand the busing because that's just reverting the whole thing all over again.
That's it. That's
Busing our children back out.
That's what I was saying.
But that generation don't see that as a fight. And I'm just wondering, that's a great dialogue to have, to bring some young people in. And I wonder what some of the children are thinking. What are some of the children in Benton Harbor? What's their thought? Because some of those kids may be like, I'm glad I'm getting up out this little school.
They are. It's something like that.
Yeah, because they don't have that concept that you and I have. And how you deal with that, Deacon? How you deal with that mix? I know you brought in 2 of your guests, and I'm talking back to you, Evangelist, Pastor. I know you brought a couple guests with you. They're all grown now, Pastor.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so they're not in that 25 age bracket. But what is that? What is that?
One of them is.
Okay, so what is your thought? The Adidas lady? The Adidas?
No, not the Adidas. The other
Not
one.
the Adidas, the other one that's leaning like gangster?
Yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basketball player.
Okay, she's a hooper.
Hooper.
What's her name?
Kyla,
we welcome you to the show, Kyla.
What school she play
We
for?
usually would put a mic on you, but we're going to just ask you. But you
Okay.
live in Kalamazoo, right?
What was the name of the school?
So you being in that age bracket, what is your thought about
Detroit.
you in a
Okay.
busted school? It's all nasty, bathroom nasty, and you got a chance to go to this nice little majority white school, but it's clean, got air conditioner.
All the luxury.
All the luxury. Be honest. Be honest from your generation. Forget about us old folks. Free at last, girl. You free. What's your thought about that, really, honestly?
I think it depends on the teaching. Because if you go somewhere where they're not focused on you and they don't care if you pass or fail, they just there to get a paycheck, then it don't matter what type of environment you in or if the bathrooms is clean. If you're not getting your education, then it ain't benefiting you.
Okay.
So like at Ben Harbor schools, like a lot of the kids, because we went to one of the forums at the auditorium, and they were basically stating like how good their teachers are, how devoted, like how invested their teachers are in them, like they're focused on their education, they're focused on seeing them prosper and seeing them go to a higher level. So it's like if they send them off to people that don't care about them, then they're not gonna, be successful in life.
Okay. And that's a good point. Where I struggle with among our own people, we got members that right now, if your ear ain't working in the church, they'll leave the church. You can be preaching the word. I'm hot. I got to go. These are old people. Whereas when I came up, not to say it's justifiable. It is 2019, and we should have more. But I remember where the churches didn't have no air.
Had church all night.
I remember we had church all night. We clapped our hands, and we had the Martin Luther King fan. But that generation ain't doing that, mother.
And that's something that we're going to really have to, like you say, dialogue about, because yesterday's manna is not going to work for today. The way we did things back there, it's not going to work for the day. And this is what I'm praying for. I'm asking God, God, bring me up to date. Bring me up to date.
For the
give me the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, the love, and that it takes to really minister to these young folk. Okay, I was in Benton Harbor High School. Just visiting, and I was up on, I think, the second or third floor, whichever one it was, and these were like 10th or 11th graders. Well, when I was, they were cutting up, so I mean, that room was in chaos, and it was so bad till they had window panes in the door, and window panes was rattling. They was cutting up so bad in the classroom, and so I went in there and asked the teacher. He was sitting up in the corner.
Didn't know what to do.
Didn't know what to do, and I asked him. I said, do you put up with this all the time? He said, I can't do nothing with these folks, with these kids. They do what they want to do. I said, okay. I said, would you let me talk to him for a minute? Can I? He said, yeah, if you can get to him. I went, and I said what I had to say, and I told him why I introduced myself. I said, my name is Jane Willhite. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I said, I have 3 rules. I said, I don't want nobody talking while I'm talking. If you want to be heard, raise your hand, and no blurting out. Those were the 3 things. And you could hear a pin drop. But it was with this one guy, he was a drug dealer. He got up and he sat on the table. Instead of sitting at his desk, he sat on the table. I said, sir, excuse me, And I dealt with him, and he came on down. But I'm saying all that to say, kids are some of your best psychologists you ever want to meet. They can tell whether you're faking or whether you're for real.
They can read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when I went in there, I introduced myself and told them that I love them and I was concerned about them, and they were all ears. All but that one. He tried to cut up, but he settled down after I got through with him. And this is my thing about children. If you be real with them, and you let them know that you love them and you're really concerned about them, they'll do anything you ask them to do. Anything. We've dealt with some of the worst children that ever had walked the streets. But when we got through with them and we let them know how much, I have had to literally grab them in the chest and, hey, I love you, man, or I love you, girl. You can't act like this and make it in life. And so, anyway, with love and kindness have I drawn thee.
Yes,
and I feel, too, that the church has got a lot to play with what's going on. The church has got a lot. Kids learn by precept and example. A lot of our kids don't do any better because they have not seen any better. We've dealt with children that have had guns stuck to their head because the house was being raided.
Right.
We've dealt with these type of children. We've dealt with children that don't eat at home. We've dealt with children that had to sit up
Don't
all
have
night and
beds.
watch. Had to be like bouncers, sitting at the house making sure nothing happened to the rest of the kids. We've dealt with these kind of kids, okay? And you can't really pound them. You can't beat it in them. You have to love the hell out of them, okay? And this is what we do. We love them and we feed them. We take them out. We do what.
Show them a better side of life.
Let's show them the best side of life. So I feel like the church has a lot to do with Benton Harbor.
So Battle Creek, a lot of y'all keep trying to, is the camera still working? Okay, Battle Creek, y'all look like y'all keep trying to lead to go to Kalamazoo. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. Do y'all remember the article where they had about 2 years ago? I've only been back for about almost 2 years now, where they tried to say Battle Creek and Kalamazoo was one of the worst cities. Did y'all read the article?
I heard that Battle Creek was
That
the
was
worst.
earlier this year when that came out.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
I didn't know.
But I want to say this, and Mother, you gave me a great thought. Now, my son, he went to a HBC. He went to Savannah State University.
Okay.
And I have to be honest, my daughter went to Purdue. I had no issues with Purdue. I was at Savannah in line just to get a book. It was horrible. Got on my nerves, but here's a solution. And I've been thinking about doing this. I'm doing this because I have to care about the other students that may sign up for Savannah. Because Savannah gave my son a good 4-year education. He played Big Ten, D1 football, so he did great. He's back here coaching for Albion now. Wow. But we're going to set up a, and while I'm thinking about this, once I get a few things done, we're planning on setting up a program in his name where you have those endowments. Because until we give back to our own schools, they're going to die. Yeah. Now, Savannah really don't deserve this. But there's other children that's going to, they're
benefit
still,
from it.
yes. And so sometimes we got to go beyond how our personal experience was. So I guess my point is all those Albion alumni and all those Ben Harbor alumni, they should be the one moving that agenda.
So true.
Yeah,
that is so true.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Had quite a few of them. Had quite. It's all had. I mean, they spoke to that government.
Yeah, because I saw the governor come down.
Oh,
and
they spoke to her.
She talking about we gonna shut it down, and I thought she kind of should have just chilled.
Well, she did. She had to chill after that
Did
one
she?
girl. Oh, yes.
So they haven't made a decision yet.
No.
She was trying to, but they wouldn't let her. The kids spoke out. The kids did wonderful.
Yes.
Now is that gonna,
intelligently?
Is that going to impact? Now we are intelligent people. I believe in having intelligent conversation, so we don't criticize or judge what person's preference is. But do you think that may hurt the Democrat side if she end up closing it down? Will that move folks to the other side?
I think so. I don't know whether they move it to the other side, but they won't vote. I would feel that they would probably
won't vote.
They won't vote.
Which will, okay.
Yeah.
It's a bad situation if they close that school because the kids, like, you're shutting us out of our home. This is our home. You shut our schools down, you're pushing us out of our community. You're trying to move us away gradually, slowly but surely. You're moving us out of our community because you got to understand, some rich folks want that community. They want, and that's the thing.
That's it.
That's it right there.
And I'm glad
you said
it.
Yeah, that's it right
nother
there. And they're saying, please don't move us. You're going to move us out of our, that's what they're trying to do.
Yes.
They know the kids, a lot of the kids that they're trying to bust out, they know they don't have transportation.
Yes.
The parents don't have transportation to go check on their kids.
Right.
And so, and it's like shutting it down on both ends. It's like, they're like, please don't move us out of our home, because that's what you're doing. You're moving us, not just shutting our school down. You're shutting us out of our community, out of our own houses.
Now, we don't want to have to give certain people shout outs and then neglect anyone else because y'all live in Kalamazoo. But could you give me some name of some of the powerful ministries in Kalamazoo that's making some big moves without, I don't want y'all to get in trouble because y'all mentioned y'all forgot one church. Because I don't know. I don't live in Kalamazoo. Is there any powerful? I can name some names that I heard of.
Okay, go ahead.
And
So
then,
you name some names you heard of.
It used to be. It was once called. They changed it to Stone, but I know it when it used to be
Christian Life Center.
I knew it was Christian Life Center.
Yes.
Is that a power broker? Don't get in trouble.
In an area, in certain areas.
Stand the fifth. Take the fifth.
Yeah, in certain areas. No, I'm going to give credit where credit due. Some people are called to certain areas.
Okay. I'm just trying to think.
I would say in certain areas they have a following, and so in certain areas they are, but they can improve in some areas.
Well, who was that big church then that is making? If we went to Kalamazoo. Who was that NAACP? Who was that mover and shaker? Who was that guy? Or that lady?
Well, I don't know about the lady or the guy, but now out of all that I've heard and experienced, Mount Zion is doing a lot for it.
Mount Zion?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mount Zion.
Never heard of them. Okay.
Minister Moore.
Okay.
Pastor Moore, they do a lot for the community.
Okay.
They pay bills. They do a lot for the community. But now that is about the only one that I've heard of. Not to say that there's no more.
Right.
But Mount Zion is about the man.
So we do have there's a major crime issue in Kalamazoo?
Yeah, that's true.
There's nothing for them us to do. There's nothing.
Is it just not being recorded? Because I don't really hear too much about. I hear in Chicago. I hear, of course, what's going on in Battle Creek. I don't hear a lot of stuff in Kalamazoo.
The crime?
I don't.
How many black men have we lost within the last? How many black men have we lost within the last 3 weeks?
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of young men shooting up each other.
My great grandson got shot about a month ago.
Not everything makes the big news. Not everything. You don't always see it.
No, because see, they're trying to keep Kalamazoo in a certain bracket. They don't want it to be a crime city.
Right.
But in the summertime, you almost every week you hear of somebody getting killed.
Really?
Almost every week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got about 15 minutes, but I always throw out some thoughts, and I'm going to mention a name, and I want you to give me your first thought that comes to you. Okay? I'll ask you first, and then I may switch the name, Mother, and ask you. So Pastor and then Mother. So I'm going to call off a name, and then you give me your thought. Aretha Franklin.
Lady of Soul. Queen of Soul.
Bill Clinton.
What was that girl's name?
Murderer.
Monica.
What was that
What was
girl's
her name? Monica Lewinsky.
Lewinsky. Monica Lewinsky.
Okay.
Don't start me.
Okay. We ain't done
Make
yet.
me sweat.
We ain't done yet.
Me
Right.
too, me too.
Michelle Obama.
Beautiful hair.
Jesse Jackson.
Retire.
I can't get nothing. I ain't done yet. I'm not done yet. Got some more names. I'm scared to say this name, but here I go.
Ooh.
Donald Trump.
Oh.
Oh.
Believe it or not, I believe he's the messenger of this time. And I'll tell you about that later, because our ministry is an eschatology ministry. We deal with current events and things that's happening because he loves Israel. That's opening up a way. God is using him in ways he don't even realize to shut some of this other stuff down that's trying to come.
Donald Trump.
Crazy as a Betsy bug. Crazy as a Betsy bug. And the only reason, my feelings about that situation, about it, the only reason why he's opening up for Israel, he knows that's the only way he can stay in office. That's the only way he can get the evangelical votes.
I don't
I
believe that.
don't believe he
That's my mom.
I don't believe
That's good.
I don't believe he mean that from his heart. I don't believe he mean that from his heart.
Republicans, listen to Republicans. This is the greatest talk show ever. You got a mother and a daughter, and they love each other.
Yeah.
See, just because you disagree, don't mean you don't love each other.
Right.
Now, Mom over here said,
She love Obama. I don't.
crazy as a Bessie bug. She over here saying he's a part of the prophetic up to the signs of the times.
Yes, I read my Bible.
I got
so-
one more name. Here I go. Barack Obama.
Okay, I'm trying to do with all due respect. Okay. You want me to say what comes to mind?
You're supposed to. This is you ain't judged just because you clearly don't like
Sent
Barack.
by the evil one. I'll say it like that because I don't call him evil.
Wait. That's all right. Okay, Mama, help us out.
The greatest president.
See, this is a great talk show.
Greatest president that have ever sat in the presidency.
This is a great talk show. You have a mother and you have a daughter,
That disagree.
clearly 2 different generations.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm a little more on Mama's side. Oh, but it's all good.
It is, it is.
all
I'm the
good.
one with every now and then you meet a traveler.
It's all good. It's all good. Deacon, what you think, man? Our time to get close, but what you think about this diversity between mom and daughter?
I think it's beautiful.
Yes.
You guys can work together and have different views
I
like
love that.
It's like oil and water.
Yes.
But you know what?
But it's
that's
love,
okay.
too.
That's
Yeah.
what
I bet they love
That's
each other.
right.
Wise
Yeah.
men disagree, but
Yes.
fools fall out.
That's right.
Talk
That's
to me.
right.
Say it again, Mama.
Wise men disagree, but fools fall out.
Talk
right.
to me,
Yeah.
somebody.
It's okay. It's okay
You don't
to
have
disagree.
to always
That's right.
agree.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
That's what makes life so healthy.
Yeah.
Because I
Yes.
totally disagree with you right
Yeah,
now.
and you know what? That's fine.
But I love that. I love the fact that you can say that and not be judged for saying it
Yeah. Right.
or looked at any different.
You have the right to your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that being said, there's a possibility we may have some Republicans and Democrats votes at this table.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Well, now, if I have to say anything, y'all better vote Democrat.
That's old school there, y'all.
And if I had to say
Seem like my mom generation. That they straight Democrat tickets.
I see what the Democrats. I see what the Republicans do to us. And it's terrible. Look what they're doing to the. Look what they're doing to the Hispanics. Look what they're doing the same thing to them that they did to us. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the Democrats is trying to get them to take care of the children. The children is those little Hispanic children in these little what kind of houses are they in? Where they the ones that they
the little cages you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I would say this because our time is winding up. I will continue to support parties that I think is going to empower us. There has been time, Mother, where I felt that maybe somebody else would have done a better job, and I did consider going that other route. But I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I vote for people who I think will move our agenda.
That's me.
That's what I stand for. But I just love this. See, we have to learn how it's okay to disagree. If you want everybody to be a robot, then why have a discussion?
Right.
And I think that's so awesome. What I got, about 5 more minutes? Mother, no, you go first. Give us about a 1 minute of encouraging words or love or inspiration or a shout out. Is your time. Look in that camera and say something that you would like to say.
Okay, which camera was we looking
I think it's that one, I believe. I'm not sure. This one
okay.
over here.
All right, where the pretty lady is.
Yes, that's the gangster.
Okay, I would just say that, it's time for all of us as human beings find out what our God-given purpose is in life.
Yes.
Because we are all called, and we didn't call ourselves, and we might say that we came from our parents, but God had a purpose for all of us. And there's many individuals in this world, but no one has the same fingerprints, and that in itself says God. God created us and wonderfully made us, and we all have purpose within our communities, within our school systems, within our families, and we need to find out that God-given call and purpose, because if you don't, you are aimlessly walking through this life, you are blindly walking through this life, and no matter how much agreement or disagreement you have, if you don't have God on your side, you're on your way to somewhere that you're going to be sorry. So get God in your life and live life like He intended.
Very germane to what we talked about today.
Yes, it is.
Wow. She almost hit it right on top. Mother, your turn.
Well, I have a real heart for the judicial system. I did a live thing on Facebook about it, and I want to say to our brothers and sisters, the best way to escape the judicial system is stay out of their face.
Yes.
Stay out of their face.
Yes.
So many of our men and women, boys and girls, are in prison, in jail, because of unjust. I don't know whether I need to say this or not, but anyway, unjust criminal actions from it's systemic from the top. Okay, but I'm really concerned about mass incarceration. And I know nobody can answer it but God. I pray that God will do something about that, because our uncles, our fathers, our daddies, our nephews and nieces and aunts a lot of them are behind bars that can help us as a race, but they haven't had a chance. And so I'm asking all that can get a prayer through. Everybody can't get a prayer through. But everyone that get a prayer through, let's pray for our judicial system and our churches, that they will put Jesus back into Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Dick, anything you want to say before we go?
I'm not sure what age that you guys get the young people. Potty trained from conception all the way up, but to guide them and to walk them through life. And then watch them graduate college has to be a huge gratification right there. I mean, that's a powerful thing, and you guys deserve any and all the benefits out there that you can get, that the government, state, or whoever can give you, because you're doing a great thing. And I think we need more women, more men, more people like you out there. So I take my hat off to you.
Sweet. Thank you.
I would like to end by saying, first of all, I'm just excited about having my friends from Kalamazoo. These are my friends, my new friends.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for them. I want to say that we have to come back and talk about the whole foster care, because now with the pain that we're going through, these are children that's been raised by everybody, and they're going from house to house. And these children are going to be the future. So my passion has shifted. I want to commend all these foster parents who have taken that love.
Yes.
But we need more of us to do that. We need more of us to be able to get involved in almost adopting these children, because they're out here all by themselves. And we need a home that's going to love people. We need a home that's going to love them.
Yes.
I always end my show by acknowledging my ancestors. My grandmother, Ruby Elizabeth Perry, and my grandfather, they're both late, passed away. Leo Del Perry Sr., but their beautiful daughter, which is my biological mom, who's still here, Georgia Perry Howard. We love you, Mom, and we thank God for you. And on my father's side, Edward West Smith, where I got my name from, passed away, of course, and Gussie Smith passed away, and my father passed away, Hugh D. Smith Sr. But I thank God for them. And as the tribe of Issachar, we had to understand the time. And you all gave me a fresh light. And I hope Battle Creek learned something. Just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't love each other.
Amen.
Because different opinions are good. Let's not be narrow-minded. And let's not judge a person just because my car is going to be black. It's going to stay black. And your car may be white. We can still work together.
That's right. That's right.
And get some gray area to save somebody. Let's pray together.
Amen. Pray for Donald Trump.
Father, we thank you. She's messing up my prayer, Lord. God, see, Lord Jesus, thank you, Lord, for who you are, and thank you for your blessing.
Yes,
and on behalf of our dear evangelist, our pastor, Lord, bless Donald Trump
Yes, Lord.
in a special way.
Yes.
And we thank you for this
Yes,
wonderful two people. Bless their ministry.
Yes, Lord.
Give them favor.
Yes, Lord
Give them
Jesus.
anointing.
Yes.
Send them funds. Give them a
Yes,
safe
in the
journey
name
back
of
to
Jesus.
Kalamazoo.
Yes, Lord.
And let us do something together in
Yes.
Battle Creek.
Yes,
So
yes.
you can get glory.
Yes,
In
for you.
Jesus' name.
For your glory.
Amen.
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 Beautiful. All right.
That was good.
That was a good show.
It's like I messed up your prayer.
That was one of the best.
Just you and me.
AccessVision. Your voice, your community.